Hey, happy day 5 of the blood pressure challenge. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, also known as Pajama Grandma, sipping my coffee, which is probably supposedly not good for your blood pressure. You're not supposed to drink coffee right before you check your blood pressure. At least, that is what I've heard. Now, I'm going to investigate that because I don't know if that's true. I actually gave up drinking coffee for 5 years after my sudden cardiac arrest because I was told that coffee is bad for your heart and bad for your blood pressure. Come to find out in 2017 when I had a different health challenge and I started investigating and learned about eating for my blood type, that for my particular blood type, coffee is good. So I gave myself permission and started drinking coffee again. So I've started drinking coffee again since mid-2017 after giving it up for 5 years. So that was pretty amazing that I can actually enjoy coffee now. Now I'm going to have to, as part of this challenge, investigate and find out what really is the research and the information on blood pressure and coffee. Is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing? Since it's good for my blood type, it might still be bad for my blood pressure, so I might have to curtail or actually give it up again. Don't know. We'll have to find out as part of the challenge. That's one of the things that we do when we're doing a challenge is we learn different aspects and we learn about and we investigate different things and figure out what works for us, which leads us to today's action item. Today's action item, yesterday we talked about and we thought about and we wrote down 3. I'm hoping you wrote down 3. If you didn't, go back and do it because it'll help you with today's challenge. 3 things that you're not willing to do anymore in order to get what you want, in order to achieve your goal, in order to do what it is that you say you want to do over the next 90 days throughout this 90-day challenge. Now today, I want you to do the same thing, but I want you to write down 3 things that you're willing to do. 3 things that you will do, you'll start doing, and you'll commit to doing for the next 90 days to help you get what you want, to achieve the goal that you want over the next 90 days. Now I'm going to share mine because I got a Post-it note, and before I hopped on, I thought, well, if I'm going to ask somebody to do something, I have to, of course, do it myself because I never ask anybody to do anything that I'm not willing to do myself. So I wrote down 3 things, and here's what I wrote down. I have to grab my magnifying glass and see what I wrote down. It says, list 3 things that you want to do and that you're willing to do to help you get what you want. My first one I put, learn and apply what I learned that has been proven to work. Use myself as a science experiment to test out what has been successful for other people and actually determine if it works for me or not. Because guess what? Each one of us is different. We're a unique, special human being, and what works for one person might not work for us. It might be just the opposite of what we need. My mom has a rare foot, I guess it's an inflammatory disease, and she's had it since we were little girls. She actually, when we were little girls, she had to go to Mayo Clinic for about a year, and they gave her an experimental drug for this, and I think it's erythromyalgia or something it's called. It's when your feet, and not with her, but sometimes your feet and hands, they swell up, they blister, they get super duper hot and feel like they're on fire. And she's been having, after 50 years of this being dormant, about a year or so ago, it started up again. I don't know why, but it started up again, and she's got this terrible thing in her feet. And what they've actually told her from Mayo is, you're going to have to try these things and experiment and find out if they work for you or not. So things like, there's a weird drug she takes that I can't even pronounce the name of, but she has to take it for a while and see if it makes her feet better. If it does, then that works for her. If it doesn't, because it can actually make it worse, some people will do this drug and it actually makes it significantly worse. Others will take it and it doesn't do anything. Still, others will take it and it solves the problem for them. Same thing with magnesium. So now she's got to take magnesium and see, some people magnesium makes it significantly worse. Other people it makes it better. And then some people it has no effect. So she has to try that. So there's this whole slew of things she has to be her own science experiment and try to figure out what will work for her, because even the medical establishment is starting to understand that we're all different, that we all react and respond to different things differently. This is part of my personal reason for not wanting to go on another medication for my blood pressure, thus the whole health, lifestyle, blood pressure 90-day challenge. I've got 6 months, maybe 9, to prove that I can keep my blood pressure down, or I have to go on another pharmaceutical. And I know from personal experience over decades that I respond very poorly to different medications. And I have a lot more challenges with the side effects, and I don't want to play that game if I don't have to. And if there's lifestyle changes I can make to do that. So I'm willing to learn and study and figure out what works and doesn't work for other people, and then try it on myself. That's all one kind of a long one, right? The other thing I said is I am willing to eat, exercise, make lifestyle changes, create good habits to automate what works for me. So first I'm going to use myself as a science experiment, then I'm going to figure out what works, and then what works, I'm going to turn that into automatic systems and lifestyle changes so that I don't even have to think about it, so that I am automatically doing the things every day or once a week or however often I have to that I know are going to help my blood pressure, they're going to help my health, that are going to make me feel better, that are going to make lifestyle changes. And the thing is, sometimes it's hard to form good habits, but when we do, it makes life so much easier. I'm a morning person, but I know that if I don't follow my established morning routine, and I created my own morning routine using this same strategy, where I learned and studied and followed and paid attention to what other people do that feels right for them, and it helps them to function more effectively as far as the morning routine goes. And then I picked and I chose what works for me, because no one person's morning routine is going to be perfect for you or perfect for everybody, right? There's some really good ones out there. Tony Robbins has a good one. People that have shared theirs have good ones. Dean Graziosi shared his. It's a pretty good one. Vishen Lakhiani or whatever his name is. I love him. He's got a good morning routine. I think Mel Robbins has one. Anyway, I've studied probably 100 different people's morning routines, and then I picked and I chose what works for me. And I do that. That's part of my morning routine. One I got from my son, who I know got from probably Tony Robbins or someone else. Maybe not Tony Robbins, but the make your bed every morning thing. Get up, make your bed. First thing. Another one, I can't remember who I got it from. As soon as your alarm clock goes off, your feet hit the floor. No pushing snooze. And that one took me a lot of years to figure out. Was first I had a super loud, obnoxious alarm clock, and I had to set it across the room. It was one that you couldn't just push a button and go off. You had to get up, go across the room, and push the button to have it go off. But I had to set it across my room to work for me. So you have to take all these things and figure out how they work for you. And the third thing I put down, what did I put down? Listen to my intuition and feelings about what to do, then go about getting what I want. So not necessarily believing, and just because an expert says it makes it so, means that it's true. I have to actually investigate and take my own feelings and gut instinct and intuition about something over what some expert says, over what a doctor says, over what anybody says. This is another belief and thing that is a long time coming. I believed doctors for a really long time, that they were there to save me and cure me and fix me. And I was very disillusioned by that in my 20s, in my early 20s. And I learned back then that sometimes they have no clue. They're just practicing what they're doing. They're doing the best they can given what they know at the time, but they don't know everything. They're practicing medicine. They're practicing on us, and we know better what's going on inside of us and our bodies than anyone else on the planet. So give yourself permission to listen to yourself and pay attention to, and you have to really try hard to pay attention to what's going on. A lot of us are very good at masking our feelings, masking our symptoms, and not paying attention to what's going on. So make sure you are clearly paying attention to what's going on with you. So those are my 3 things that I'm willing to do in order to get what I want. I want you to take a minute, and it only takes a couple of minutes. I think it probably took me maybe a minute to write down these 3 things and think about them. But think about the 3 things that you're willing to do right now, and it might change over the next 90 days what you're willing to do and not willing to do. I am willing to do a lot to not have to take another medication. And that's why we discussed our why a couple of days ago. If your why is strong enough, if your why will make you cry, they say, if you get down to the feeling that you want to have, and mine is about freedom and feeling good and love and things like that, if I am willing to not do things and I'm willing to do things to make that a reality for my life, and if I have a strong why for that, I'm much more likely to be committed to and stick to the things I'm willing to do and the things I'm willing to not do. Sit, go out, have an amazing day. I will, of course, be with you tomorrow with another step in our lifestyle health challenge. In my case, blood pressure challenge. For you, it might be, hey, I want to lose 10 pounds. It might be, I want to, whatever it is for you. What are you willing to do to get that over the next 90 days? Because you know what? It only takes 90 days to get almost anything we want, or actually to get a really good head start on anything you want in life. And I mean anything. If you're wondering if it's possible, put what you want in the comments below, or direct message me what you want, and I will give you examples of people who have done just that and made huge progress in 90 days. And so that you know that you're not alone, and it's not just you that wants or can actually accomplish what it is that you want. Have an amazing day. I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.